But this next article comes to us from Piercing Larry, and we are, I'll just go ahead and get ahead of it and tell you that we're very lucky to have the man that this article is about on the show later. But the headline reads, Man arrested after faking 20 heart attacks to avoid paying restaurant bills. That's right, folks. The story goes, a 50-year-old man who scammed restaurants after faking heart attacks to avoid footing the bill has finally been charged and jailed. The man, identified only as Adis J.
Mysterious.
Has attempted to scam eateries at least 20 times in the last year.
20 times.
Yeah. Adis would pose as a Russian tourist while ordering multiple items on the menu. In his latest performance, he ordered a seafood paella and 2 whiskeys at a local restaurant in September, telling a bill of 50.5 Canadian dollars. He tried to leave without paying. However, the restaurant staff stopped him and requested he pay the bill. Adis claimed that he was going to grab money from his hotel room nearby, but when the staff refused to let him leave without paying the bill, he dramatically clutched his chest and fell to the floor as if he was having a heart attack. In the exact moment he was needed, he had the heart attack. Perfectly timed heart attack.
Yeah, wow.
Instead of calling an ambulance, the staff recognized his antics and called local authorities, who quickly identified the scammer. We've all received a warning with his photo telling us to be careful to not serve him anything, the worker said. Despite committing minor crimes, as each bill was between 13 and 60 euros, the con man has been jailed for 42 days following his latest arrest after a 2-month scam spree. And folks, with the first interview post-incarceration.
Right out the clink.
We are so incredibly excited to have on the show today Mr. Adis J. Adis, welcome to the show.
Ha-cha, ha-cha. Hello. Thank you for having me.
Very excited. You're coming in hot with a lot of confidence for a man who just came out of jail for breaking the law a bunch of times.
Yeah, let's just say I've learned a couple things in jail, and I'm ready to take on the world once more. Ha-cha.
Okay. Adis, the article doesn't mention that ha-cha is a bit of a catchphrase for you.
Yeah.
Would you say it's a catchphrase or just a thing I say a lot? Ha-cha.
I mean, I guess it could be just something that you say. I guess it's not much of a phrase.
Yeah, it's the thing that you say and also a thing that you wrote a few times in our email correspondence setting up this interview. So
comes out of your fingers, too.
It's part of you, I would say.
No, my catchphrase is more money, more heart problems. That's my thing.
Yeah, that is more of a catchphrase.
Ha-cha is just more of a stutter I have.
It's like, okay. It's like an anxious tick.
Ha-cha.
Well, Adis, thank you so much for being on the show. I think a lot of people probably look at this and don't think it's a big deal. I'm one of them. I think it's okay to steal from restaurants. We've all done it. I stole one of those red Coca-Cola cups from a Pizza Hut when I was a kid. So I don't think it's a big deal.
Last place I went to had a tiny spoon for no reason. I grabbed one of those.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and so
exhilarating stuff.
Yeah, we steal the utensils, you steal the goods, and I think that's fine. I will say, heart attack seems like a dire circumstance to create in a restaurant. It could lead to some tricky situations.
That's my secret move, my special move. You got to get all eyes on you to sneak out of there alive, you know? That's always the goal. Some people want to steal and not let anybody know it. I want to be known for doing what I do. Hey, yeah,
it brings up a good point because I do have a number of questions about this scam, I guess. So in this story, it says that you tried to leave without paying, and then when you get stopped, then you have the heart attack. So most of the time, do you just get to walk out and it doesn't even get to heart attack?
We don't even get the thrill.
Okay, so you've been blasting out of places, and when they do stop you, that's when you blast off with this heart attack?
Exactly, and it is a blast off, if you will. I blast off by grabbing my chest and falling and shaking on the ground. I'm not exactly sure how heart attacks look, but I make sure to mix it up every time.
I was going to say, heart attack,
what?
I don't think is...
What are you going to say, huh?
Yeah, right? You think somebody would say, hey, that's not how you have one.
Atus J, I want to first say I am on your side, big guy. So
Okay.
you don't have
Okay.
to be.
Okay.
You don't have to be contentious with
I just thought we were back in the courtroom, back in the courtroom, putting Atus J in jail.
No, look, I have no interest in putting you back in jail.
Okay.
Atus.
No,
I just want
no.
to talk about the mind of a man who has such a calling card as you. But these are all minor crimes. Also, it doesn't seem like it'd be that big of a deal.
Yeah, you're
but,
not
thank
running
you.
up big tabs. The first time I read the headline of this, I was like, oh, this guy's getting $2,000 bottles of champagne. He's like running up these big old tabs, and it looks like you just had your
Come on,
last time
50
some-
Canadian dollars is a pretty big tab, if you will.
just a seafood paella and 2 whiskeys.
50 is
house
pretty big.
whiskeys.
Canadian dollars, that's pretty big. Come on. Achha.
I don't know, Atus. I'll go out on a limb. I'm not a guy who likes to spend a lot of money, but that does seem like small potatoes to me.
For a heart attack scam.
Yeah.
I think that's it doesn't say, 50, that's nice to spend on yourself. But if you're going to get out of it with a heart attack scam, is it because it's so not big of a tab that people are like, let's just fucking let this guy get out of here. This is crazy. Or
That's
'cause
part
you
of
think
it
if
for
was-
sure.
Yeah. If it was too much money, then
They
call
would
the
try to
scam.
arrest you. I thought 50 Canadian dollars is usually just the right amount to either say, well, he's actually dying, or we're going to let this weirdo just go. We're going to let him go.
Is that something you found over multiple heart attacks?
Oh, yeah,
What-
yeah.
What money?
$10 too low, they're going to call the paramedics immediately because nobody would steal $10.
Oh, okay.
$200 too high, they're going to have to chase. You're going to have to run right out of there gripping your chest going, I'm going to go find an EMT somewhere else,
A heart attack on the run.
A heart attack on the run.
$200 is a heart attack on the run. Screaming,
50
I got
is
it,
that
I got
sweet. I got it. I'm going to go find an EMT myself. Thank you, though.
There's
Delicious
one.
food.
Oh, I see one.
Oh,
Oh, and you also compliment the food. on your
big
way out.
compliments are big. Well, it's not. The servers are great. The food is delicious. It's all part of the job. Huh? Why would I make fun of it? I'm not saying, oh, this food was revolting. I'm not paying for it. I'm saying it's so good, it gave me a heart attack.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of restaurants would probably want to piggyback off the publicity, I would think.
Oh, heart attack, man. They're trying to use my name everywhere. Ha-cha.
I think the heart attack on the run also brings up another question. Like, how deep into this heart attack do you have to act out before you can just get up and leave with not paying the tab?
It's a good question, a great question. I wish they asked me this in prison. It's an art. What people don't realize about this, it's an art. Sometimes you gotta go the full Monty. Sometimes it's gotta be quick, and sometimes it's gotta take 5-10 minutes. Sometimes you sit down right at the beginning and you go, you know what? I'm gonna make this place my hit. You look at the waiter, waitress, whatever it is. You look at them and you go, hey, this is great. I'll take a water. Ooh. My arm is feeling a little funny.
Oh,
You plant the
slowed-
seed.
You plant the
Yeah.
seed in their head.
Oh, I've got a little arm issue.
But sometimes, you realize right at the end of the meal you forgot your wallet, and boom, bang, bing, heart attack all in one.
Hacha. Listen, Atus, I was gonna ask: has there ever been a time where like someone has bought in so fully that you have kind of made it to the hospital? Like what is the sort of?
I had to
far
fake
have
die
you
one
gotten?
time. I had to fake die one time.
I was gonna
I had this sweet 20-something waitress who had too big of a heart. She should have been teaching school children or something like that. She follows me all the way to the hospital. I had to pay the doctor off to say, he's dead. He's dead.
Wow, so the bill probably rang up that night.
Yeah, that was a nacha moment. That is a nacha.
I
Did
didn't
you have
realize
to
that
fake
there
a heart
was
attack to get out of paying the doctor?
So that's what you do. So what you do is you say, I'll pay you big bucks if you say, I'm dead, I'm dead, I'm dead. So the doctor says you're dead. And she leaves, the doctor goes, well, what a good hit. And I go, yes, sir. Well, my heart.
Wow, and you get right out of it that way.
Yeah.
They call because they have to call if you have a heart attack at the hospital. They have to call another hospital's ambulance.
Yeah, they don't. A lot of people don't know this, but if you get a heart attack at a hospital, they legally have to call another hospital's ambulance.
Yeah.
Well, that's the rule. Yeah, it's a rule. If you get sick or hurt in one hospital,
You
they
gotta
got to
assume
call
the
another
hospital's at
one
fault.
because they might be at fault.
Yeah.
They can't treat you because they may have caused the injury.
Exactly.
And Adis, I bet a lot of people would just want to sit here and talk to you about your scam, but I'm interested in what sort of brings a guy to the place where this is his thing.
Ah,
You know
thank
what I
you.
mean?
It's really
Like, you seem like a guy who's got a good thing going on there. Beautiful
Hacha.
head of hair, beautiful,
hacha.
beautiful sunglasses. You
Elvis
seem like a
style
guy.
sunglasses.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah,
What-
but no
what-
last name.
No, Adis J.
Jay's enough.
J is
Jay's
enough.
But where does a guy like Adis J get his start? What was the origin story for a guy like
You know, this is such an interesting question, and it's a question I really wish I got in prison. Really wish they were asking me these questions in jail.
You don't
that's-
really interview people in prison.
No, I didn't. I thought maybe we were gonna get to know each other. You know, sit down, you're really gonna, they just not. It's not a situation where you get to really know each other. It's kind of every dog for himself in jail. So basically, I got my start a couple years back, about 30 years now. 30 years back was when I started.
A couple years ago.
A couple
30
moons,
years back.
couple 30. My mom is from Minnesota, and my dad is from Minnesota as well. But we didn't grow up in Minnesota, and I think that was a kind of traumatic for
That's
me,
tough,
because they would talk about Minnesota and how great Minnesota was, but I never seen it, I never know it, So then when I got to high school, I kind of like a lost kid at this point, not really getting along with my parents or my siblings, and just looking for a thrill, just looking for something. So it didn't start as Heart Attacks, but it definitely started as something.
Yeah.
I had Sticky Fingers. That was a good hit that I used to do. It was where you go into a restaurant, you dump a bunch of maple syrup on your hands, and you grab whatever you can and say, sorry, that stuck to me. I got sticky fingers, and you run out.
Oh wow!
Yes.
that was one of your first ones.
One of my first ones, bold, big, bold one.
And is the implication there that it stuck to you, so they can't take it back, but you did it by accident?
Yes, I guess the implication, if we want to get into implications,
Yeah.
the implication is it's so stuck to my hand, it's like a Gorilla Glue. I have to run out of kind of, oh my gosh, it's so like, when you get something stuck in your hand, you're like,
Yeah.
So you're kind of, you're using that to kind of
So
maneuver
you're
your way out of
like, it's stuck in my head. Like real big and
Nothing
so
like that, actually. Nothing like that. You couldn't be farther away. This is an art, and I don't like this pedantry, okay? Bring
That's
a
why
little
Buddy
bit of
doesn't
respect
do
to
this
it.
stuff. Yeah, that's why he doesn't do this stuff. Okay, he wouldn't
Yeah.
know.
that's why
He
I
would've
wouldn't
gone
be
too
able to pull
big.
it off.
So yeah, it's a little bit more like, what's going on? This stuck to my hand. And then you kind of run out, kind of, fire. But you're not saying fire, you're saying, sticky.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm sorry for saying that you did screaming
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah,
Those
my
two
bad.
things
It's
were
all right.
very
It's all
different. I don't care
Thank
what.
you.
I don't care what
Thank you.
anybody else.
You're in my corner. The other guy, I don't know about him. I don't know about him.
No, look, Adis, we're both in your corner, man. We don't bring anybody on the show that we don't back.
Okay. Just
Actually,
like
don't
one of
take
you is
that-
trying to send me back to jail, a little bit.
No, we did. We would never want you to go back to jail. We don't want any
No.
guests to go back to jail. I
Okay.
do want to go back and just tell people that when I just said we don't bring anybody on the show that we don't back, don't hold me to that in the future if we bring on somebody who's mean and bad. I don't mean that. But Ada, so you got your start. You've always been a little bit of a trickster. You've always been a little petty crime kind of guy.
Yeah, always.
Have you ever run into trouble like with like were you ever incarcerated before? Was there ever any issues with the law beyond this?
Yeah, no. There was an interesting situation I had. When I was about like 17, 18, I was trying to do sticky fingers to a guy's wallet, and so that's the situation. It's a
That,
little.
of course, is where you shove your maple syrup-soaked hand into someone's back pocket.
Exactly. You kind of go, oh gosh, maple syrup everywhere, to imply, boom, bink. You're screaming sticky fingers. They don't know what to do. You got their wallet. You're loaded for a week or so. So,
Where
yes.
did they think the maple syrup came from in this? Because otherwise, you were in restaurants, and now you're just doing sticky fingers on the street.
Well, sometimes life will push you that way when you kind of feeling like this loss of like you don't know what Minnesota is. You're kind of on the street wandering around, so you don't have all the answers. A big question is what I would get was where'd this maple syrup come up from, and it was always a different answer. You got to think of your feet a little bit. So,
Yeah.
must have been
sounds
a
like-
tree. Is a great one.
Adis,
Must have
I don't
been
mean
the
to get
tree.
sentimental here or anything,
Yeah.
but it does sound like you have some sort of spiritual attachment to the state of Minnesota.
Yeah.
You've brought it up twice. It seems like there is a part of you that feels like connected to this state, and it has driven a lot of your behavior. I don't understand. You've never been there, you said. What is it about Minnesota that sticks in your brain so much?
I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it.
You obviously do, though. You
I don't
brought
want
it
to
up
talk about it.
twice.
It's too painful. I don't want to talk about it.
Because it seems like if just going to Minnesota was the thing that's bothering you, you were arrested in Spain. So you have done some traveling.
Yes.
So I think that
I
like you
have.
would have been able to make it to Minnesota.
Mm.
But have you?
I've never been, and I never will. Because you know what happened? Because you
What?
know what happened. Because you know what happened, actually?
We don't.
No, you don't.
Because you know what happened, actually, huh? So,
Okay.
about 17, 18 years old, my mama, my mom and parents, they're both from Minnesota. They say you're going to college, we're going to move back to Minnesota.
Okay.
Wow.
And I go, well, why can I come? And they say, no, you're going to college. And I go, well, what about me coming to Minnesota? And they say, no, you got to go to college. So at the end of the day, there's a lot of bad blood that I don't want to talk about there with my family. But
Got
just
it.
know that you're stepping on tender ground, and I just got out of jail. So I don't want to
No.
do anything crazy.
Look,
but
Adis,
Yeah.
I got to tell you, I can relate to this, okay? I understand.
How can you relate to this?
I can relate. Look. I'm
Be
a man
surprised.
who has done many things in my life as a subconscious and sometimes conscious cry for help. Okay, and it sounds to me. Look, and don't. I ain't a therapist or nothing. I ain't trying to psychoanalyze you because listen, I hate it when people try to psychoanalyze me. But
Thank you.
I will take a moment to just connect a couple dots that I'm seeing and say that I think that there's something going on where you see this outward sort of declaration of emergency as a means to get attention in hopes that someday that attention is to the parents who I'm now piecing together have always been somewhere other than where you are.
You couldn't be more wrong. I don't know what you're talking about.
Are you sure?
What are you talking about? No, that's not it. That's not it. That's not it. That's not it.
It sounds to me like you have been constantly, you are one place and your parents are in the other place. They change places with you.
Nah, cha.
Like, turn into petty crimes that don't really have big jail sentences. So you're making a stir.
Because, yeah, there's part of you that thinks maybe, just maybe, if the bail is low enough, my pop will show up and he'll throw the cash down on the bailman's the ledger to get me out of here. But
Nah.
but
Come on home, son.
that's what it seems like, Adis.
Yeah.
I thought that was my actual dad for a second. No, it's not it. It's not it. It's the thrill. It's the thrill of the.
Okay,
It's the thrill
you're
of the
reaching
chase.
for your arm here, okay?
Yeah.
No.
No, it's the. I'm having a heart attack. Let's start talking.
Adis, you're not having a heart attack. We're
Go
not
on.
gonna fall for this.
I'm gonna throw up my heart. I'm throwing up my heart.
Through.
That's
I'm
not
dying.
what happens in a
No,
heart
this
attack.
is
I'm throwing up my heart and then having to swallow it. I'm having a heart attack.
No,
My lungs. I'm having a heart attack. My
your
spleen.
lungs. Okay.
My lungs. My lungs.
Adis, you don't have to be scared, my man. Listen, we get it, okay? We're here for you, okay? Both of us have complicated relationships with our parents. All right? Buddy's dad cheated on his mom with an alien.
Whoa! Hot cha! I'd like to see that. Hey,
That is
big
actually-
green alien or weird freaky one? You tell me. Hey,
He
But-
didn't get
He
into
didn't
it.
say we all through the course of interviewing people for this show, we discovered that the story that Buddy's dad always told may have been true, which was that he was abducted by aliens. But his mom thought that it's too complicated to get into right now. But listen, I'm just saying that to say that we get it, okay?
We
and
get
it's
it.
okay.
Heart
It's
attack's
okay
okay.
to ask
Having a
for
heart
help.
attack,
You don't
it's
have
okay.
to. You don't have to fake a heart attack for people to see you, man. Listen. I'm telling you right now, Brett the Mott, me, the coolest guy in the world.
You are one of the coolest guys I've ever
Thank
seen.
you. I see you, man, and I understand what you're going through. Okay,
Yeah.
I
Do you
understand
think-
what it's like.
And do you think that having a heart attack is your way of like a metaphor that you have a broken heart, maybe? And that maybe you need to
Don't do it.
mend it.
I think
Hey,
I'm having a heart attack.
Don't.
I think I'm having a heart attack.
You're
A
not.
heart
This is
attack
called
isn't the
looking
solution.
inside yourself.
I can't even speak. Oh, having a heart attack. Oh, my leg.
That's not
My leg
what
is
happens,
bleeding.
Adis, that's not what
My
happens.
leg is
okay?
cramping up.
Why
Oh,
is your leg
I can't drive. I can't see.
You're not doing either of those things, Adis. Listen, man.
I can't drive on C right now. I'm having a heart attack.
Adis, my man, this is so
Adis?
sad to see, man. Listen, this is so sad. This is, I'm seeing through it, my man. There's nothing
Yeah.
you can do here, okay?
Yeah, if okay,
If what,
this,
big man?
this wildly popular podcast, we put clips out and it gets across the world over to Minnesota, and you were able to maybe say something to your parents, what do you think that would be? What do you think
want
you would
them to
say
know?
to them? What would you want them to know?
I think, well,
I'm a dinker?
No, I was warming up. I would definitely be part of it, but I'm warming up. I'm a dinker. I'm a big dinker. I'm a big man now. I'm a big man now. I don't need. I would say.
I'm a thinker, I'm a big man. Those are two options to do. I'm a thinker, I'm a big man.
I'm a thinker. I'm a big man. I'm a thinker. I'm a thinker. Okay, I would say. I would say. Hey.
Mm.
Write more, maybe, because I'm here.
Mm-hmm.
Dad, thanks for teaching me sticky fingers. Mom,
Oh.
thanks for teaching me loose change.
Is this another scam you haven't told us about yet?
Yeah, it's loose change. You guys don't know what loose change is?
I don't know about loose change.
Okay.
This
If
is a
you
message
guys
to your
wa-
father.
How do you guys know loose change? Okay, really quick. Okay, loose change.
No.
Loose change. Go to a restaurant. Right at the time you're supposed to pay the bill. It's supposed to pay the bill. You get a pocket full of loose change. You go, well, this should be enough. Oh, loose change everywhere. Drop your coins everywhere. Kind of follow them out like a bunch of mice following food out the door. You're
You
good.
make sure that the coins roll out the door, and you're just like,
You make sure-
I gotta get the coin.
I got my loose change. Da da
Yeah.
da da da. And then you kind of do a little Irish jig out of there. Anyway.
That's the best one out of all of these because I feel like they'd be down trying to help you pick up change. Meanwhile, you're gone.
No, you have to wait until all the change is collected. You try to wait until it's all collected, and then you make your way up.
Oh,
wow.
I
It's
don't
an
know.
art form, okay?
So
No,
both your
Adis.
parents are scam artists.
Yeah, they were scam artists. I guess you could say that. They were artists first. They were
Mhm.
artists first. My dad was a painter. My mom was a technician, which is an art.
And do you know if they moved back to Minnesota or they might have been on the run? Maybe they just didn't want to tell you where they were going?
What? What are you talking about?
Yeah, like maybe they had a sort of secret life that they didn't ever tell you about.
Yeah.
What? 30 years ago would have been 1993.
Yes.
Which,
Was the fall of the USSR, kind of.
A little bit after.
but there's still repercussions.
There's
Right,
repercussions.
Right. The
89 is when the
reverberation.
wall went down.
Yeah.
But 93 is when they started hunting them. And that article did mention I'm Russian. Maybe
Okay.
my parents were actually KGB spies in America, and the only place they could settle down is Minnesota, huh?
You know,
Yeah.
that's as good of a that is as good of a backstory as one could expect.
Yeah.
quite sound, actually, when I
Yeah,
think
so
about it.
I will take
It
it.
actually really is solid, honestly.
Honestly, all the dots, all the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed,
No,
folks. I don't think you need
This is
anything
crazy
more
to me.
from
I'm
us.
realizing it too right now. This is thank you, guys. Thank you.
Of course, man. That's why we do this. That's why we always want to go straight to the source's mouth.
You
as
know,
we
they
say.
just don't ask these questions in jail. They should change jail. They should change
expect-
jail.
And this, I've been wanting to ask you this constantly. Did you expect there to be like an interviewer in jail? I don't understand
Like
what you
a
thought jail was.
two-camera kind of
What do you guys-
real
Yeah, I thought it was.
Jail was the
style.
real world. You
I
kept
thought
asking,
jail-
Where's
yes.
your confessional?
I thought what happens in jail is, you give a little talk to your guy, and then you go into the confessional booth and really talk it out. What do you guys think jail is? You didn't think jail was talking, getting to know each other, just a bunch of guys hanging out, getting to know each other.
I did
Honestly,
not.
a confessional would be a good thing to have at a jail. But
exactly.
no,
Would be.
just walls and stuff.
Man, well, Adis, I'm glad we could connect some of these dots for you because I feel like you're gonna leave this interview a better man than you were when you came into it. Okay.
Absolutely. I
And
feel
maybe-
so much better.
Look, maybe from now on you don't need to do the fake heart attack. You don't
Huh?
need to do sticky fingers. You
What?
don't need to do loose change. Okay.
What do you say?
Yeah.
You don't need to do this. You can just live your life. Man, don't do it.
I'm having a hell of a attack.
Okay.
I'm having a hell of a attack.
I really
I
thought
need-
we
My
had a
tongue-
breakthrough.
my
I
tongue is
really
going
thought we
crazy.
were getting
No,
somewhere.
I think I need to see whatever sources you have read about what heart attacks look like. Because
I never read a source. Never once. Send me to jail before I read another source.
neither do we, Adis. Neither do we really. Not until we read them live on the show. But man, Adis, thank you so much for being on the show. It was a
Yeah.
real pleasure to talk to you.
Thanks so much for
I
having
wish
me.
you nothing but the best. I hope that you don't ever experience a real heart attack. And if you do, wait, I don't
No,
know where
I
this
hope they
sentence is
believe
going.
you.
Yeah. No, that'll never happen to
They
me.
were like, it's a scam. It's a scam. And you're like,
Yeah.
no, this one's real.
Well, there is a little boy that follows me around screaming it's a scam now, but I'm dealing with
Oh
it.
no, he's the boy who cried scam.
He's the boy who cried scam.
Which-
he's,
Which
he's,
it's too much to get into right now, but I do know you said in your email you'd love for me to mention your new book, The Boy Who Cried Scam, which is like a like children's story
thank you for
For-
bringing it up.
about a
it-
kid who ruins an old man's scams by screaming,
Hmm.
"It's a scam."
Yeah, he has to
cried
learn a
scam.
valuable lesson at the end. You don't scream.
That's a great lesson.
Yeah, he gets hit by a car, unfortunately, at the end of
Oh.
my book.
A lot of turns.
Yeah, this is a long children's book.
It's 100 pages with
Yes,
pictures.
Jeez, Adis, I don't know. I think, listen, hire an editor, maybe.
Okay. No.
But Adis, thank you so much for being on the show, man. We really
Thank
do
you guys so much
appreciate
for having me.
it's always so nice to be able to sort of talk to the people that we see in the news headlines every week. So thank you so much for being here. And I'll tell you what, if we ever see you in the news again, we'll tell people we don't know you.
Thank you. Hey, hacha to you and hacha to you. Please, never say you know me.
A cha to you.
Hot cha to you, Adis J.
Yes, thank you. Heart attack, out. Loose change.
Explosion noise.